Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hope you're doing well today. Thank you so much to all of my new subscribers. Thanks to everyone that has been there with me from the very beginning. I love bringing you these stories. I love talking about this. It relates very closely to my heart. It's something that I do in my everyday work in terms of my charity, and talking about the work of Harry and Meghan and their perpetration of a fraud of a charity work is what I'm talking about today. And this will give you some really good insight into what they have done behind the scenes to a school in New York City, a very low income school in terms of the students that come there that are low income, and just how you put these demands on people. It really shows your character. It shows so much about you and what you're all about. And the insight is so revealing. And you need to hear this, okay? So let's get into it. First of all, let me just say, we saw William. William was out throwing the football, and I just have to say, folks, I love the fact that William is out there promoting American football, flag football, working with youth and their sports activities. Here he is showing up in his tennis shoes and looking very classy, and you just have to love William and all the work that he does. I'm so amazed at how well received he is when he goes out, because people get him. People are genuinely get William, and I think his reign as king is going to be like nothing we've ever seen before. It's going to be so different than everything that we've seen in the past. So I'm really excited for William and very grateful and thankful that he is someone that's got the presence of mind to do the right thing, because he never ceases to amaze me how he shows up like his mother, like authentically like his mother. And I just have to applaud that in every way. So we're talking about now, we're going to be looking at this full list that Harry and Meghan had when they went to go visit a school in New York City. And this was a pre-planned trip that they had. They were going to be going to this low-income school in New York in 2021. And the couple, they went to extreme lengths. They went above and beyond. Not to do the right thing. Not to do the thing that you would expect them to do. But to make sure that aesthetically, things looked the way they wanted them to look, because they had to look pretty, right? They had their Netflix cameras there. They wanted things to look a certain kind of way. It wasn't really about the work, what you are there to actually do. It's about how you're going to show up and use this school as your backdrop, using this school to help make you look pretty. That's what it was about for them. Okay, so let's just understand the fact that you are doing all of this planning and you are showing up to make sure that the school, the backdrop of the school makes you look good, shows us that you're not there for the reasons you are perpetrating to be there for. It's a fraud. It's a fake. It's a phony. It is an abomination. Okay, that's what I'm telling you right now. Get it straight, people that support this couple. Well, actually now individually, because we know separately they're going their own ways with their work. So they made this really, really bizarre request to ensure that their visit went without any glitches. It's like, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. You got to, when we show up, we're the Duke and the Duchess. When we show up, we want things to look really nice. So according to evidence that has been obtained by Daily Mail through an FOI request, okay, Freedom of Information request here in America, okay? I don't know if, they were used to these things over in the United Kingdom, but here in America, yes, there's freedom of information, that we can get evidence, proof to show what a despicable person you are and what you were doing back in 2021. Because it all validates every single thing that myself and others were talking about in 2021. So one exchange saw representatives from the couple suggested they should bring cushions and a new carpet to the school in a low-income area of the city so that it would be more suited to Meghan's taste, to her taste. I am so heated over this article only because I slave my butt off, okay, to do what I do for my charity and the youth that I work with no cameras, no press coming out to see the work. And to have this woman use her privilege and impose it on the school, the children, makes her look so cheap, such a user, and it makes her look like the fraud and perpetration that she is. And I hate to be so negative about it, but when you see it, you have to call it, folks. You have to call it. So this visit took place at a public school in one of New York City's low-income areas in September of 2021, just 18 months after Harry and Meghan stepped down from their duties in 2020, because, this was all part of the plan. Okay, when they knew they were leaving, this is how they were going to make their money off of the backs of other charities and the work that the charities do, and attach themselves to these charities as if they're there to support the work of the charities. But no, they're using it as a backdrop for their performative morality to make themselves look like they are the saviors of the children, of the poor, black colored children. That's right, I said it, okay, because that's how they look at it. The emails seen by the publication also show that Archwell staff had say in which school the couple visited and went through multiple edits of the press release to ensure that the visit sounded more substantial. I mean, you just all full of yourself, aren't you? You're just trying to just pump it all up to make it more substantial for you. Because your image, your reputation as you build your careers in America is so important. And this school was going to play a role in you building your brand in America. Okay? So files also show that Archwell staff also had demanded the consent forms were signed. Now get this, folks. Ensure that there was no negative comments were publicly, both before their visit, during their visit, and after the visit in the future. That right there is the planning and manipulation of a couple that doesn't want the truth revealed. They want to stomp on the freedom of the press, the freedom that people have about thought and opinion. They don't want your opinion of them. They want to ensure you're going to say the nice things because they know they could show up and do some things to make some people very upset. And then they've got some negative publicity on their hands and they just don't want that. So let's just kind of put some tape over your mouth and sign it. Sign the form that you're going to say nice things about me when I show up on the backs of your school. Sign it. I mean, why not just show up and what people say is what they say? I mean, that is more, organic, more valuable because it's the truth. I just can't. I'm just, no. You're not coming to America and doing this stuff. It's just not going to happen. We're exposing it all, folks, right here. And then also, the consent form included information that had banned the teachers and the students from speaking about the project. Because, of course, they want the element of surprise to have the most impact. Because we know they did this all for the Netflix cameras for that documentary that they got millions of dollars for off of the backs of this low-income school. I mean, how low can you go? How low can you go when you're using people in poverty to enrich yourself? And that's what I'm trying to show you. It's not just via this Netflix deal that they got and showing up at this school, but every single thing that Meghan and Harry does. Now, Harry's trying to detach himself from it, but the things that Meghan is motivated by is trying to enrich herself on the backs of vulnerable people, low-income people, the people that need services. She wants to come in and make herself look, oh, I'm the fairy duchess. I'm the fairy duchess here to save you, unfortunate people. Take my picture with the kiddos. Take my picture. It's so wrong. So day 2 of this trip saw Meghan and Harry visit PS 123 in Harlem, an inner city school in which 95% of the students are low income, free and reduced lunch recipients. Okay, that's how they can tell what children's income levels are, by the number of students that have free and reduced lunch. And that's 95%, nearly almost 100% of this school has children who are low income. And we also know this is also where Meghan read her book, The Bench, at this PS 123 Mahalia Jackson School. This is where she read that book. So Harry reportedly, we saw when he was sitting there cross-legged among the listening to the class, class of the students, and his wife as she read the book, The Bench. Okay. Now, the intended purpose of the New York City trip was reportedly to paint them as world leaders, with the visit also showing them making a stop at the United Nations around vaccine equity. Because, of course, they had to have something to fight for, to save the poor black-colored children. They needed something. People who don't have a lick of past work around doing anything really for black people for free. I mean, Harry has done some volunteering to his credit, but Meghan, she's going to do it to get something out of it. She's not showing up to do it for free to help you without her getting something in return. That is at least what the evidence has shown us. Even when she did this Africa trip before she met Harry, it was on the backs of a job so that she could paint herself in such a light. So when she went out to find that prince, he would see that she was doing this fake performative morality stuff. Okay, it wasn't legitimate. And that's a whole nother story. But this is what we see. This right here is the pattern. And they also controlled the press during this visit. So no British tabloids could come cover this. Everything was tightly controlled. And the only real people that were there to watch them and to report on what they were doing during this visit were the glossy magazines like Vogue magazine, In Style magazine, People magazine. Like, these were the ones that had the access. Not in the original letter when Harry and Meghan vowed to give more support to up-and-coming journalists so that they could give opportunity to those who were trying to make it. No, to the more established million-dollar companies is who they gave their access to. Okay? Tightly controlling things. And we also remember part of their time in New York City was speaking at the Global Citizens Festival in Central Park. You know, just trying to perpetrate the fraud is what they were doing. And it was disgusting. It was sickening to see them try to advocate on behalf of people while at the same time using it to further enrich themselves, to make them look like something that they are clearly not going to live up to unless they're able to make something from it, like money. Okay. The correspondence seems to show that planning of this trip started 6 months prior to April of 2021 and was headed up by former New York City Department of Education employee Toya Holness. Because when you get a call from people within the royal family, I'm sure they're eager to want to support and help out. But what people have to understand now, especially since we had that whole fake car chasing incident that happened also in New York City, they've revealed themselves as the frauds that they are. The trip to New York City in September of 2021 saw a camera crew follow Harry and Meghan for a series of public outings, which was a part of their Netflix documentary six-part series. The series, titled Harry and Meghan, which followed the couple's life after stepping down as senior royals, sparked more controversy in their ever-growing feud with the firm when it was aired in December of 2022. Additionally, Meghan sparked criticism at the time of the visit by arriving in an expensive ensemble, a 4,800-pound outfit from Loro Piana Cashmere Co., as well as donating a 1,300-pound trousers. And it's just disgusting. Not only that, but there were also other things that we heard about, how they were charging for the books. They made some donation to a charity of some fruit that was not really fresh. I mean, it was just so tacky and so low class, and just to be quite frank with you all, ghetto from the very beginning. And I think to use young people who are simply trying to get an education to make yourself look like something of a savior to come and help and support, when the reality is you're there to make them accommodate what you find pleasing. This is what people need to understand about why I'm so hypercritical of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, is because you have to understand, when they originally left the royal family, they needed to find a way to make money, the key to make money independent of the royal family. So everything that they did when they came to the States was going to be off the backs of making money. So how is it okay that you show up, make all these unreasonable demands to a school that is impoverished, so that you can validate you're making millions of dollars, so that you feel comfortable with the new carpet, you feel comfortable with the new pillows? They wanted new pillows. They wanted things to look really nice and aesthetically pleasing to Meghan Markle. Okay? Well, I mean, this deserves a smackdown. I'm sorry. This deserves a smackdown, because I just cannot believe you are so low class to do something like this. So for everyone who is understanding and following all that we talk about here, understand this is just a part of the repertoire of things that we have in our arsenal to show you all the despicable things of Meghan Markle as Harry, as he is the one who is validating this woman by marrying her and accommodating her wishes, because he knows better. Because Diana, she would have never done this. Princess Diana, she would have never done this. She has shown up. Does it matter what it looks like? Does it matter what kind of aesthetically pleasing things that would make it look nice? It didn't matter to her. She showed up because she was there for the children. She was there to make a difference. She was there in a meaningful way. She was there as a true humanitarian. Meghan is only there to make things look like she is saving the world, when the reality is, when you open up the reality and see behind the curtain, you're looking at a perpetration and a fraud of a woman that's just trying to make herself look good on the backs of the most vulnerable people. Shame on you, Meghan Markle. Shame, 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 shame on you. You've been called out. You are busted. I mean, it is what it is, folks. And I think really going back and seeing what really was behind the scenes during the time of this visit is enlightening. It's enlightening to see the true kind of person that this couple is, what they are doing, what they'll continue to do. And we have to make sure that they never gain the traction that they need to become more enriched, to get the celebrity star status, power that they are going to continually seek in America. It's not going to happen. Take your butt somewhere. But you're not coming to America and trying to make over on our most vulnerable youth. That's just not going to happen, Harry and Meghan. You have been exposed.